Hello, my name's Robin. I'd like to sell my 2019 Thor Freedom Elite. It sits on a Mercedes-Benz chassis. It's a very nice motorhome. It's got approximately 11,600 miles on it. It's very well set up. It's very clean. There is no scratches, dents, no divots. It's no issues with the glass, no chips. So there's actually really no defects on this motorhome to speak of at all. It's very nice, and as you can see, it's pretty. Okay, now I'm going to open up this side door so we can take a look. This is for storage. I hopefully got everything unlocked so we can see it. I'll prop that up. We store some folding chairs in there. I believe there's 4 of them in there, and then there's a tablecloth and some electrical items. It's just a storage. It's pretty good sized. There's also a drain in there for the water system for winterizing. And then right behind that, you'll see that there's 2 outlets. They're GFCI. This is very nice. This is a barbecue, so you can plug a barbecue into this. So it's a quick plug or quick release for a barbecue or whatever other gas appliance that you'd want to use outdoors. So that's kind of a nice feature. And then we have a little pocket door back here. My wife's got a pot stashed in there. You'll notice that all these pockets have lights in them, to include this one. They're all LED. It's got a very nice handle for entry, and the side mirrors on this are set up really well to be able to see behind you, and we'll go over that a little bit more later in this video. You'll see it does have an awning. The awning is in like new condition, and I'm going to go ahead and put that out so you can see it. So I'll try to get a picture of it extending. So there's a control panel here for the awning, so we'll go out. And you can see it's electric, it's very stable, there's no tears, it's very clean, very nice, goes out a long ways. I try to not use it if the wind is above single digits, so when it gets up around 10 miles an hour, I like to bring it in just for preservation to keep it good. I try to always roll it up dry when possible, and if I am forced to roll it up wet, I will roll it back out later and allow it to dry. I am a firm believer that rolling these things up and storing the awnings wet is not conducive of a long life. And then we have awning lights. You can see those up here. Very nice. The full length of the awning. They're an LED light. It's kind of nice for being outside there. And they're actually very pretty. And then we have a step light here. If I can get that in the picture, there's a step light down there. And then what we have here is a battery switch, and then we have stabilizer. Anyway, with that said, we'll get back outside and take another look at what's going on here. You can see it with the awning out. It's pretty good size. You can pull that awning down so you can slope it. You just grab a hold of this and pull down, and that will give you more of a slope. So if it's raining a little bit, then you can create a little better runoff for the water. With that said, we'll step around to the rear. You'll see up on top here that it's got a, up in that light assembly, there is a very nice backup camera. And that backup camera, it kind of pans out and around, and you can actually see your blind spots to the side with that camera. So it's I'm not sure how that works, but I sure like it because you really don't have a lot of blind spots in this thing. You can see the Freedom Elite part of it, the ladder. There's no damage. It hasn't hit anything. And then there's a step there to step up onto the ladder with. We'll go around the side here. This is a single slide, so the whole side slides out. You'll see that right behind the driver's door is where the slide slides out, right? And it goes back then up a little bit for the bed, and all the way to the rear. So, and it slides out a long way, so it gives you a lot of room. This is a storage that I probably forgot to unlock, so we'll get to that later. This storage here, we pretty much use for things like reclining style chairs. I use it for my hoses and for blocks of wood to put underneath the stabilizers or under the wheels to level. There's quite a bit of room in there. That storage is big enough to carry as spare. And then back here, we have a small pocket storage. I keep my sewage supplies in there, completely separate from any other supplies in the coach. As you'll notice, I keep a pair of rubber gloves, shoes. Those are supports for the hose if you're somewhere long term. And then there is a hose in a garbage bag behind all that. This right here is a sanitary flush for the Blackwater system. So you just attach a hose to that and open up the drain on your Blackwater, and it will clean out the inside of your toilet. So you don't have to go inside the toilet to clean it out. It's very convenient. And then the next door is the generator, and it's locked, so we'll get to that later. It is a propane generator and will run all of the appliances on this. Right here, you'll find a coaxial cable. So if you want to carry a coaxial cable with you, you'll find that most RV sites have cable television available, so it's kind of a nice, and this is the electrical outlet. So it is 30 amp. So with 30 amp, you can run your air conditioner and your microwave at the same time. This is a really nice storage. Unfortunately, it's locked, so I need to grab the key and get into that. I really like this storage. We keep our barbecue in there. We have a barbecue that adapts to that quick release really well. It's a special barbecue because the barbecue, if you go directly to a motorhome with your barbecue, there is already a pressure reducer on the propane, so you don't reduce it. And we'll get this opened up and you can see what we've got in here. So, there we go. Well, maybe we'll get this opened up. There we go. So underneath this cutting board is a barbecue in a bag. You can see that. I use the cutting board because that's what I set the barbecue on when we use it outside. And you can see the quick release hose up underneath it. Pretty nice to carry that along. We keep it in its own drawer. And then down here, there's another storage area. It's pretty good sized. Not sure if we have anything in this storage currently or not. Apparently my wife's got some cooking supplies in there. That's just the box for the barbecue, so I could probably get rid of that. And then she has an air fryer in there. You'll notice that there's an LED light in this compartment as well, and a little bit of cabling and electrical. So we're very careful about not interfering with our cabling and electrical when we pack, and we try to pack really securely so things don't slide around a whole lot. And then in this compartment, you have your propane. Now this propane holds 16 gallons, and it is very efficient using its propane. So we really like that. And then again, very nice wide side mirrors. But what I like more than the good side mirrors on this thing is the rear camera that you can see your blind spots with on the side. Now this is an outside shower, so kind of nice if you go swimming and want to clean yourself off. And this is the city water connection. So we've always used a filter on that, and just to keep anything from plugging up and keep good water. This is the fuel filler, so that flips open. And what's nice about that is it's secure, so if you have it closed and lock your door, no one can get into your fuel fill, and so there would be unable to siphon or steal your gas. Now you'll notice that this slide has a complete slide awning on it, and We're going to put that out here in a little bit, but it's very nice. The slide awning is clean and there's no tears or rips, and it's in very good condition. So with that said, I'm going to extend the slide. I'm in the middle of a residential street here. So this is the slide extender right here, and we'll push it out. You know, I like to monitor and make sure that we're not going to hit anything, but I did give myself a lot of space. So we'll put that out, take a look, and finish our tour of the outside, and then we'll come in and tour the inside of the motorhome. And then we'll go over some other functions that this motorhome has. So with that said, we're getting it out. It takes a while. It's a pretty deep slide, so it extends the floor space of this motorhome significantly. So it makes it pretty large. So it's a small motorhome, convenient to drive. By small, it's 24.67 feet. So it's easy to handle, but it lives large. So it makes it a really nice, convenient RV. With that said, we'll go take a look at the slide out. You can see how far it comes out. Get a look at the end of the slide. This is the rear end of it. You can see that it has a kind of a catch here to keep it from coming out. It's very secure. Everything functions well on it. You can see the front of it. There's no tears or frays or anything like that on it. It's very, very clean. So it's very nice. I prefer to get the electrical set up before I slide the slide out, because it's just easier, and access everything in the storage compartments that I may need. But you can still get into the storage compartments with the slide out, so it's no big deal. Then we're going to go inside, and as you'll note, the step is electric, so it goes in and out when you close the door. Now you can, if you're parked, you can put that step out and shut the switch off, which will keep it out. Now if you forget to put that step in, when you turn the ignition on, it will automatically retract that step. So that's a pretty nice function. One more thing that I should mention on the outside of it is that this has electric stabilizers. So they're right here, and they're electric, and what they do is offer stability when you're parked. So you get this thing parked. Usually I put those stabilizers out before I put the slide out, kind of a judgment call on that, and then put the slide out, and it makes a pretty stable platform. So it's pretty nice. And then we'll come inside, and we have this is pretty nice countertops. So this is an extender that extends out towards your step. Next to it is a GFCI outlet, and there's your awning control. So this is your awning in out switch here. This is your awning light, and this is your step light. This is your battery control, and these are your stabilizer switches down here for retract and extend. Now there's an alarm on those stabilizers to prevent you from proceeding with the stabilizers out. So in other words, when you are taking down and getting ready to move, there's an alarm to prevent you from moving forward with those stabilizers out, so you don't tear them up. And you can see here is the bed over the cab. It's very nice. It's long, so somebody 7 feet long could sleep in there comfortably. The ladder attaches here. We just store it up here for use, and we keep this covered. I don't even know if that area has been used since we've had it. My wife and I don't have any children or dogs, and neither one of us smokes, so this thing is very clean. And so, you know, even though this bed's here, we haven't used it, but I have crawled up in there and found it to be very comfortable. And then next to the bed is a flat screen, and I believe that's a 32-inch television. It's hooked to cable. You can watch DVDs through the computer on this thing, so it's pretty nice. There's a Blu-ray player. The kitchen cabinets, pretty good sized. You can see that there's no water stains or anything like that in the cabinet, so it's pretty clean. Adjustable shelf. And then this is the cabinet over the oven, over the range. My wife's got a few things stored in there. And then you can see a little steel plate, you know, for fireproofing. And then behind that is the curtain system. This is not actually curtains, it's shades. And then above the refrigerator, we have another compartment. Now in that compartment, there is a Blu-ray DVD player. So you can use that. There's 2 televisions in this thing and you can use it. Now, the refrigerator, as you can see, is on. That's an auto light. There's an on-off switch next to it. Now we always leave it on, and it switches automatically between gas and electric. So as soon as you plug it into service, it switches over to electric, so you don't have to worry about it drawing down your gas. And then inside's pretty decent sized freezer. It's very clean. We've got a few food items stored in there. And then down below is the refrigerator unit. And it's pretty good size. There's storage in the door. There's a crisper down below. And it's definitely big enough to store enough food in to last yourself for quite some time. And then we'll move over to the range. The range is very functional. It has 3 burners. It has a self-lighting system, so it's got a striker that you light it with. And then below the range is a convection oven microwave combination. We've used that a few times. It's pretty nice function. And then the kitchen sink, it's a single larger kitchen sink, pretty good sized. And then below that you have your little soap tray for stashing things in. You can see we've got our hand sanitizer and some other items in there. And don't mistake that cigarette lighter with smoking. We carry that because we may need to light something outside, maybe a fire pit or something of that nature. My wife has lined the majority of the doors. Now the items in the kitchen do not come with the motorhome. You will be buying the motorhome only. This compartment right here is for a trash container. So it's nice. You can store your trash out of sight. We never leave it in here very long. Usually daily we empty the trash because we're extremely clean people. And we'll go on to the bathroom. So you'll notice it has a very functional shower. Everything works. It's got a shut-off nozzle on the shower, so you can do an RV shower. It's big enough for me. I'm 5'10" and 215 pounds, and I've taken a few showers in there, so it's pretty good. And then you have a little medicine cabinet over here, a little bit of shelves in it. Down below we have a little bit more cabinet space. We've got some RV tissue and a couple other items in there. Then you'll notice there's a fan. So there's a vent cap and a fan. So you can raise that vent cap like this and turn that fan on, and it's an exhaust fan. So it's double switched. There's a switch here and here. And when you're in most RVs, you'll find that a lot of things are double switched. So when you come to things, you just need to realize that if it's not functioning, to look for a secondary switch. With that said, we'll go on out. This is the bed. Now the slide is out, so we'll fold the bed down. So it has a fold in it. It's hinged. It's a queen bed. It's a short queen, so it's 75 inches long. But it is a queen, and it's actually very, very comfortable. You'll see that it's barely used. This is pretty much a brand new motorhome. And then there is another 32-inch television in the bedroom area. I have never used the televisions in this thing. I really am not a television watcher when I'm RVing, but they do, to my knowledge, function and work great. And we have a combination carbon monoxide smoke detector there. and pretty large, deep closet space. I mean, you'll notice this closet space goes way back in there. So there's some shelves in the back of it and a lot of additional storage there. And below the closet space, there's some pretty deep drawers that are all lined. And then here we have the dinette. So it's got 2 seat belts facing forward, and this table pushes down, and this dinette does convert into a bed, and it is pretty long for somebody to sleep in. I have never slept in it, but I have put it down and laid across it. I'm 5'10", and there was a good additional 6 inches left, and that wasn't diagonally, that was end to end. And then underneath this chair there is a drawer. Right now it's got some garlic mushrooms in there. I don't know where those came from, but pretty nice. You can see the slide trim's in really good condition. It's very nice. Some cabinets over the dinette. They're very nice. It's got really nice shade systems in here, so you just pull them down and they stay down. They're very clean, very nice, very functional. We usually leave them up when we're traveling, and of course in the evening we put them down. This is a cab windshield cover for inside that it velcros across the front of it, and the seats do rotate, both of them, so you can rotate the seats around to face into the motorhome compartment itself. So if you want a nice comfortable reclining seat, you can just turn those around and sit in them. They're very nice. You can see that the upholstery in this thing is clean. There's no tears or rips or anything like that. It's very nice, and as well as the upholstery in the dinette. So this thing is in like new condition. There is a curtain for privacy for the bedroom that slides across here. And one of the things that I really like about this bedroom too is that there's an electrical outlet here, but there's also USB. There's a double USB outlet there, so you can charge your cell phones. And I believe there's an electrical outlet on this side, so if you want to use an additional charger, that's great. And there's a little shelf right there next to the bed to set things on. So if you wear glasses or want to set your cell phone up there, or however you choose to function. There's some additional cabinets over the bed that are pretty deep, so some more additional storage. And we use this little corner right here to put a laundry basket in. And you can see we've got the shades down. They're all very clean. There's no creases. They're in very, very good condition. Like I said, this motorhome is like new. And then we will go into the cab, and hopefully I'm not missing anything. Actually, I do want to go over a few more things in here. To the control panel here, you can see this is your LPG. So you can see right now it's at 2/3, which would be roughly 60 to 70% full, right? The battery is completely charged up. The fresh water is about 2/3, so there's quite a bit of water in it. The black water is empty, and the gray water is empty, so you can monitor your levels of your tank all the time. These two switches right here are blank, but they are if you wanted to put a black and gray water heater in for your tank heaters. This one is for the water pump, and here's your slide extender, and this is the ceiling lights. You can see those come on and off. And this is your step. So again, that step will function. And I'm gonna go ahead and fire up the generator. So we'll fire that up. So it takes a minute for it to prime, and then it comes on. Now you notice there's 110.4 hours on that, and it will operate the air conditioner and the microwave at the same time. It's a 30 amp setup, and you don't have to do anything to convert it over from from a dock, in other words, being plugged into the generator. So if you're not plugged in and you fire that generator up, it automatically functions. There's a solenoid in it that allows that to happen. And again, you can see the back of the seats. I mean, this thing is just, it's in like new condition. It's very, very clean. And so we'll go around and we'll sit in the cab, take a look at that. Hopefully I can do a thorough enough video here to be able to answer anybody's questions on this motorhome. So with that said, we'll crawl up in here, and hopefully we won't have too many buzzers because of open doors and whatnot. So I'll try to close things, and we'll get the key in this thing. And we may have to bring the slide in to do this because there's probably going to be some alarms. This is a diesel, so it has a glow plug in it, so you want to allow that glow plug light to go off before you start it. And this computer, as you can see, this is today's trip. So I drove it to this area to make this video. So we drove 0.16 miles at an average of 3 miles per hour, 74 degrees outside, and the clock is not set correctly on it, so it needs to be reset. The engine light's on because we're not running, it's just an ACC, so we'll turn it on and get rid of that. You'll see that engine light went out just well. Now over here is your computer functions. So you can scroll through there and you'll notice, okay, so this motorhome has 11,598 miles on it. So we'll say 11,600. It has been operated for 272.18 hours. The average speed on it has been 42 miles per hour, and the fuel mileage since inception, and this is since mile 0, has been 12.3 miles to the gallon. And again, you can see the temperature. Fuel gauge is full, the handbrake is engaged, and I don't have my seatbelt on, we're not moving. And then there's some more function in here. This is the range for the fuel, so how far we could go today, 239 miles. Now I believe this has a 26-gallon fuel tank, which gets you almost a 300-mile range, so it's very sufficient. This is for the DEF, which is diesel emission fluid. It has, I believe, a 4-gallon tank, and I have gone as far as 2,000 miles on a tank and put 2.5 gallons in it and filled it. So I believe it gets about 800 miles to the gallon on DEF, and that's an emission fluid. Everything since 2013 has DEF. It's required. It is an emission system to keep the exhaust clean. I have gotten as good as 14 miles to the gallon in this motorhome, and I have gotten as poor as 11.5. When I got 11.5, I was pulling a lot of mountain ranges with headwinds, and it was some pretty difficult go. With that said, we'll move over. You'll see that there's a USB outlet there. It's a charging port that I've got my iPhone charger into. I just mount my iPhone right here so it faces right towards me. This is the computer system. You can see right now that my iPhone is attached to this computer. What I like about this is you can do screen mirroring on it, but I usually choose not to. I choose to use the screen on my iPhone for Google Maps, but when you connect by Bluetooth to your computer, the voice is over the stereo, so you can hear the commands very well from your GPS. And then at the same time, you can listen to Pandora or whatever your choice of music is. And then down below is the air conditioning functions. There's the temperature on the left. The AC is currently on. The dial on the right adjusts it to whether it's the windshield defrost or the straight out dash floor, whatnot. So depending on which direction that's turned, determines the function of your heat. Now this computer, I really like it. This is really nice. I want to show you this is your, so you can see you've got your settings and all kinds of stuff in there. You bring your rear camera up. Now, what you really can't see in this rear camera is how well you can see your blind spot. Now, you can't really see that until you experience it, but it's very nice. You don't need side cameras on this because you can see your blind spot with those rear cameras so well. It is just really, really well set up. And then all you have to do is touch the screen, and that'll bring you back here, and here's your home, and it has radio function, Sirius XM, which is not, there's no subscription to it. There it goes. You see the dual mirrors. So if you wanted to put cameras in there, you could. USB port, SD card, the phone, music, and then the camera. It's just great. Then we go to the settings and we can make different adjustments to, get your Bluetooth set up and all that. I'm not a techie. I'm kind of an older guy, so I don't really dig into the computers very well, but it has some very nice functions. You can see up here it's got a lot of storage trays. Got a few things in there. There's a lot of trays. There's cup holders there on the passenger side. There's a cup holder here on the driver's side. I don't like to use that cup holder because I don't like to reach for it, so I tend to use this one down here next to where I have my mount for my cell phone. There's a little tray behind there, so you can stash some things in that tray. And there's all kinds of secret compartments in this thing. It's really cool. Now down here, you can see that little wrench. That's where the jack is at, and the lug wrench. I use AAA, so you would probably never see me changing a tire on this thing. AAA for an RV is about $41 a year. So if I were to, I've never had a flat on an RV, but if I were to ever have one, I just would call somebody and let them deal with it. With that said, I'm not quite sure what else I should be covering on this. I will go over a few of these stash places that I mentioned. You'll see down here on the bottom of the door, there's a little stash place. So we'll try to see if we can get in there. Open that up. Kind of nice. You can stash some maps or whatever else you wanted to in there. No smuggling, please. We don't do that. Then you'll notice underneath this seat, there's another compartment. You can open that up. If you had some valuables that you wanted to hide, this would be a really nice place to hide them at. Because, there's your fuse panels in there, but you can stash money in it. Now the one on the other side there is nothing under it, so you could put all kinds of things in there. So, you don't, if you want to stash some stuff. Now you'll notice my wife and I have slippers in here. We do that because we don't wear our shoes in this coach. My wife is very explicit that she doesn't want shoes inside of here, so I honor her wishes on that. She likes things clean, so as well as I. So she takes care of the inside of this motor home, and I take care of the outside. And so it's kind of how we function. The battery for the coach is in here. This latch flips down and flips up, and you can see the battery. Now there is room in there for a second or even a third battery, so you could add to that if you wanted to. One is enough for you to function all night long. I am conservative with lights when I'm running just off battery, but I have never run it dry. It will run the pump and everything that it needs to run, and it's never been an issue. That battery will charge when you're plugged in. It'll charge with the generator going, and it will also charge with the motor running. So there's 3 charging systems in that battery. So with that said, another carbon monoxide detector up here, smoke detector / carbon monoxide detector. You can see the air conditioning is vented through the ceiling, right? It's a 13,500 BTU AC unit vented through the ceiling. So that's pretty nice. And it has filters in it, so it'll filter your air. and then down here is your furnace, and your furnace vents are down low. So you have one here, there is one at the foot of the bed down there, and there is one inside the bathroom right here. So you can see this motorhome's exceptionally clean. We really like it. We hate to part with it, but circumstances demand that we sell this thing. So we'd love to hear from you. Hopefully you're looking for a Mercedes Benz chassis, and you won't find a cleaner one than this one. So with that said, you can give me a call. My name is Robin. Phone number is 206-818-7444. Again, that's 206-818-7444. And I'll be looking forward to hearing from you. And I will also post a lot of specs on this. This does have a clean Carfax, and I'll try to figure out a way to take a picture of that Carfax and post it in the listing. So there is really no defects on this thing, and I do intend to service it here in the very near future, so it will be freshly serviced when you purchase this vehicle. So I intend to do oil and filter on the main motor and oil and filter on the generator as well. I'm trying to find somebody to come out and do it because I don't really like taking it to service departments. So with that said, I'm going to turn my phone off, and I am going to close this thing up, and then I will be on my merry way. And there is one more thing that I should probably tell you. If you'll notice, the key's in the ignition and this thing is running. So it will not allow you to operate the slide with the key in the ignition. So you have to, this is just a safety feature that I like. So you have to turn the key off, take the key out of the ignition, and then operate the slide. So when you're dealing with one of these, you can hear it coming in. So when you're dealing with one of these, whether it's this Mercedes or any other Class C that has a slide, you should look. If the slide's not functioning, it usually has something to do with the ignition switch, because there's some built-in safeties into it that are intended to keep you from making mistakes. And then there's some built-in safeties in the stabilizer feet as well, so to prevent from making a mistake and tearing up equipment. But you can see the slide functions very well. It comes in a long ways. And the galley and the dining area are still usable with it in, so if you just pull over roadside, you can fix yourself some lunch without extending the slide out. It's pretty nice. We like it. I say we're very unfortunate that we are in a position that we need to sell it, but that's the way life goes. So anyway, again, you can give me a call. My name is Robin. 206-818-7444. Again, 206-818-7444. Thank you.